Hello and welcome to ETCIO Leaders Live. I'm Sneha Jha, editor at ETCIO, and your host for the session. And I'm very pleased to be welcoming you to yet another remarkable episode of ETCIO Leaders Live. Today's episode is special on several counts. This episode marks a series of firsts for our show. It's the first time we have a CEO on the show. This is his first media interaction after relocating to India and taking over the reins of his company. And this is the first time we are talking about an organization that is in the midst of an organizational rebirth of sorts. In this episode of ETCIO Leaders Live, which is being streamed live right now on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, we're going to be talking to Narayan Gangadhar, the CEO of Angel Broking. So let me tell you a little bit about Mr. Gangadhar before we get underway. Mr. Gangadhar joined as the CEO of Angel Broking in April 2021. In his current role, he is responsible for leading the company with his 2 decades of global experience in managing technology businesses. With Angel Broking's brand new identity as Angel One, his focus is on unlocking efficiency for all stakeholders in the business. Mr. Gangadhar is a Silicon Valley veteran. Among the top tier Silicon Valley companies he has worked with are Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and Uber. At Uber, he was the head of technology in San Francisco, leading the company's core infrastructure, machine learning, data platform, and data science teams. At Google's Silicon Valley offices, he led a large product and engineering team to launch the first set of Google's cloud infrastructure services. Prior to Google, Mr. Gangadhar was the general manager and director at Amazon Web Services, where he developed Amazon's cloud database business. He has also served on the board of technology companies such as Madison Logic, Digital Asset, and advises many early stage startups to advance their teams and platforms, positioning them for success. Mr. Gangadhar, welcome to ETCIO Leaders Live. It's a privilege to have you as my guest today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Sneha. Thank you for having me on the program, and I'm excited to be here.
Mr. Gangadhar, Richard Branson once famously said that a business is simply an idea to make other people's lives better. You've worked with technology behemoths that have made this idea the core philosophy of their organizations. And they've thrived on disruption. In your new role, you're trying to do something similar as you lead the technology-led disruption to recast the business model of Angel Broking. And understandably so, because there's a lot you can accomplish with a complete technology overhaul and a cultural makeover of an organization. So much that it can actually guide product development, result in process improvement, and take your business model to the next level. So I thought I'd talk to you about the ways in which you are capitalizing on digital technologies to bring a new slant to the direction of Angel Broking. Now, you're a Silicon Valley veteran. You cut your teeth at the top tier Silicon Valley companies like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and Uber. What are some of the key managerial and technological learnings from your previous roles that you are leveraging to create a technology-based competitive differentiation for Angel Broking?
Excellent question, Sneha. So, let us first start by looking at what companies like Google, Uber, Amazon, what do they all have in common? All of them have a phenomenal product which solves a category of problems really, really well.
Correct.
You use Google's product to search for information on the web.
Mm-hmm.
You use Amazon to buy products on the internet. And you use Uber to get from point A to point B.
So they've carved a niche for themselves with the help of technology.
Absolutely. And they have solved one problem really, really well. And then they have branched out and applied the learnings to other problems.
Correct.
So if you look at the history of the three companies, I've had the fortune to be involved in all three of them at fairly early stages. And all of them have one very fundamental trait. They are extremely obsessed and focused on the customer. They are always focused on delivering the right value to the customer through technology. And this is where technology is actually the means to an end. The end result is a happy customer, a fulfilled customer, a customer whose problems have been solved and value has been delivered.
Correct.
So when you look at Angel, Angel is very much like these three companies also, because our entire motto is to offer to our customers the best in class trading platform that lets them monetize and trade and learn about their assets in a very simple and a clean way. So
Correct.
ultimately, we are in that business. We are in the business of both educating the customer and also giving them the right fintech platform so that they can continue their wealth creation journey.
Mhm.
Now, let's talk about what lessons we can apply from Uber, Google, and any of these tech companies to a nascent company like Angel. So before we start, let me just tell you a little bit about Angel, right? I mean, from a technology side, we have been in the business for about 25 years. We recently had our 25th anniversary. We have been trailblazers when it comes to deploying new technology at scale and disrupting the industry. We were one of the first people to introduce a internet based trading platform back in the early 2000s.
Mhm.
And then at the start of the decade, at the start of the last decade, we introduced our mobile app. So we already have a very good technology platform. Now, what we want to do is we want to take this technology platform to the next level. We want to scale this. And this is where the lessons from Google and Uber are so valuable. So I'm going to bucket the lessons in two categories. Let us first start with the managerial learnings. Ultimately, a company is only as good as the people who work there.
Correct.
And the culture has to be built in a way that we can attract top talent. So, which means that our managerial learnings are extremely important. And how do we build the teams? How do we operate these teams? How do we speed up decision making? All of that contributes to long-term value. So the two changes. So I'll give you some examples of the changes we are applying here at Angel. One of the things is we want to have what we call product pods, where we have small groups of people from engineering, people from product, people from marketing, people from sales. All of them are jamming on the problem together. And that small group is what we call a pod. And my personal philosophy is that we should be able to feed all the pod members with two pizzas. So by
Two
definition,
pizza teams.
yeah, the two pizza team, right? So
That's
we cannot
so inherent to the fintech culture, actually.
absolutely. So we can't have, which means it forces you to have smaller and lean and mean teams. Small teams are very effective and very energetic, and they own the problem completely. तो
Mhm.
डिसीजन मेक करने के लिए आपको किधर और जाने का जरूरत नहीं है. जितने भी लोग हैं डिसीजन मेक करने के लिए, they are all in that small group. Okay,
Okay.
so that's the first type of transformation we are bringing. Many teams at Angel today are adopting this philosophy. Now, the second part is once you've built a great team, the great team needs to have clear objectives. And this is where we are fully adopting a OKR based model, which Google has championed,
Mhm.
which is clear objectives and key results. These OKRs are defined every quarter, and a quarter is about 3 months, but 3 month period, right? And in that quarter, we kind of agree to what are the goals and deliverables, and we define very clear key results for them. Now, the the unique thing here is the way we set our key results is we always set our key results to a higher point than we can actually achieve.
Okay.
So, for example, if somebody comes back and says we have a OKR and they have met their OKRs, that means we have set the OKRs not very ambitiously.
Okay.
We want to set the bar high.
Okay. So pushing the boundaries as much as you can.
Absolutely. This is the second principle, is once you have the lean team, you want to tell them to push the envelope. This is where the OKR process comes in, which is what we have been applying. Now, in addition to this, there are lots of other managerial lessons I can share. For example, the culture around sharing, having clear prioritization, having clear requirements documents, having clear business case for every problem, and starting with the customer. Always, we have to ask ourselves the question, what is it that we are going to do for the customer if we launch this feature or if we launch this product? And if the answer is not clear, we should not do it. We shouldn't do or build a feature just because the competition has done it. Otherwise, you'll end up repeating the mistakes of the competition. So these are some of the key lessons that we are applying, the big transformations. And we'll also talk a little bit later about culture, but these are the starting managerial lessons. Now there is another aspect to your question. What are some of the technology lessons that we are applying to at Angel?
Right.
Now see, technology, what is actually technology, right? Technology is ultimately bits and bytes of code that represent some business logic. That's all. There is some software that is written that is basically that does the job for delivering a certain feature of value. Now, the first thing there is when you are working on large projects, you have to have development in small chunks. See, usually what people do is they end up taking on too big, they end up swallowing more than they can chew.
Like a big bang approach.
Exactly. The big bang approach doesn't work.
Because it has to be in a phased manner, bite-sized projects.
Exactly. So that you have two advantages to that. If it is small, one, it gives you confidence that you're moving in the right direction. And second, you can close the loop with your customers too soon. समझो मैं कुछ फीचर बना रहा हूं, अगर कस्टमर्स को अच्छा ही नहीं लगा तो I might as well cut my losses soon.
So test fast, fail fast is also easier with
absolutely. The fail fast is very easy with this small sized chunks. Now, this means we have to change the way we think about engineering, right? So what we have done at Angel, we have introduced a very clean development model, which is based on clear sprints, which encourages this kind of this kind of mindset and approach. The second thing we have done is we have standardized on the code review process. So if you look at majority of the people who work on the technology team are engineers. And what do engineers do all day? They sit and write programs. This is what I did for a good part of my life, right? And this is what 90% of the people at Google and Uber and Facebook are doing, right? Okay. So all of them are busy writing code. Now the code is basically, it's like our artwork. एक artist से पूछो तो उसका work क्या है? उसका painting, right? That's his paint. That's his or whatever form of art he's in. But if you ask an engineer, our showcase is our code. Now, for code, we have started standardizing on process so that we can have clear reviews for looking at each other's code. जैसे अगर मैं अपना code कुछ बना रहा हूँ, and if I want to have your input, because you may be also, you may have an expertise and another point of view. So we want to encourage that active collaboration. So we have moved into a shared code base and a shared code review model so that we can exchange our lessons very easily. Okay. And it becomes a very big, it creates a very positive effect within the team. Because, if you might be at let's say you are a junior programmer, you can see the code that is written by senior programmers and learn. And if you're a senior guy, you can learn about new, tips and techniques and whatnot by looking at other people's code. So what we have done is we have instituted a very collaborative code review process so that whatever we ship is at a very high quality bar. And it is something that we can all be proud of, right? And as you might have seen, this also shows up in our app. Our app is one of the best performing apps today.
I guess the fourth largest in the fintech category.
Exactly. It's fourth largest. It's actually now, it's very, very soon going to be the third. So you know. And other things we have done is we have started to standardize
Mhm,
on APIs.
mhm,
APIs are application programming interfaces. These are constructs that we use to have systems that are built in a very decomposable way. Because what happens is, if you want to build a large system, it is best to divide it into small systems and have clear contracts for one system to talk to another. So we have invested very heavily in APIs and standardization so that we can scale fast. So that's basically, if you look at, if I were to summarize the whole thing, right? The lessons from Uber, the lessons from Google, and the lessons from Amazon, ultimately, all of them, they boil down to having a team which has a very low friction and a very clean operating model so that they can work without bureaucracy and continue to innovate.
mhm.
And on the technology, it is all about introducing the right processes, the right tools, and the right frameworks so that engineers, they can go and do their job 10 times faster than anybody else. And
Right.
this is really what I have learned from working at all these places, along
Mhm.
with many other things, but these are the key ones.
So, Mr. Gangadhar, you very beautifully laid out all the management-oriented learnings and the technology-oriented learnings that you've gleaned from your uh, past, work experiences, and that you're bringing now into angel broking. It's got a beautiful mix of technology expertise, management philosophies, best practices in terms of technology deployment, and I'm sure this will help elevate the business model of angel broking in a very wonderful way. Now, the next thing that I wanted to understand from you is that since its inception in 1996, like you said, angel broking is 25 years old. Uh, it started as a traditional broking house. And thereafter, in 2015, it started leveraging technology to become a digital broker, and became an early adopter of a lot of digital technologies. Now you've rebranded the company as Angel One. What is the vision behind this move, and how does it signal a business model recast? How are you reinventing the core value proposition of your company with this rebranding?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So, if you've, let's start with a little bit of a history, right? Over the last 25 years, Angel started as a online, as an offline digital broker. And, through the last 3 decades, almost 3 decades, we have been ahead of the curve on every major disruption. For example, in the late 90s, we upgraded all our sub-broker terminals and we put them on LAN, on the networking technology. That was the cutting edge technology at that time, right? That was a major effort, major initiative, and we were one of the first in the industry to go make that happen. If you look at the early 2000s, we were the first to introduce internet trading on our platform. And then when you look at the last decade, it's all about mobile apps, and we were the first to get there. Now, every time we have pivoted, every time we have done something massive, it has always been driven by two things: by what the customers want and what we can offer best. Both. That is what it takes to execute on a vision. So if you look at our customer base, today we have about 6 million customers, right? And these are customers that are coming from a large set of economic backgrounds, gender, they're coming from different educational profiles. The whole, it's a mix, it's a complete mix.
Mhm,
And every one of these customers is unique in a certain way because their financial journey is very unique. For example, your financial journey and my financial journey, I may want to buy some, like a house for myself, or I may want to start something for my children, for like maybe save for their education, right? Somebody might be saving for their marriage, somebody might be saving for a good vacation. So what has happened is, as the economy has grown and as people have had more freedom to explore their dreams, the portfolio of services that we have to offer is now substantially bigger.
Okay.
It's not, we cannot service the customer the same way that we could service 10 years back by
Correct.
offering them only one thing. This is why at Angel, what we have decided is we want to take a platform approach.
Mhm.
We want to build a platform to scale to customers' current and future needs,
Mhm.
which is why the Angel One, it signals a rebrand and it signals a change in our mission. It signals that we aim to become that one platform for all your current and future financial needs.
Okay.
So you may start with trading because
Mhm.
Angel is one of the top, it is literally the best broking house you can go as far as
Mhm.
trading is concerned, right?
Correct.
And what we want to do is we want to now apply our lessons very much like I told you earlier, right? About how Google applied the lessons from search to Gmail to YouTube. And then all these products ultimately enriched a customer's life. Similarly, Angel One, start with broking, but then branch out into other sectors,
Correct.
like mutual funds, insurance, loans, whatnot. This is why the rebranding exercise was a message from us to our customers
Mhm.
that we are now building a big umbrella of services so that we can offer and serve you much better than we have historically, because
Correct.
we are also growing up with your, as are you.
Mhm. Correct. So basically, what you're trying to say is that since the customers that engage with you and they have a different requirement at every life stage, a different financial requirement, and their investment horizon also keeps changing with their life stages. So this is like a one single choice platform where they can grow their portfolio and also look at different kind of financial needs that they might have, right?
Absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely correct, right? Because as you can see, right? I mean, for example, someone who is a little bit, when you are, let's say, when you are working and when you are in your 30s, 40s, your portfolio might be heavily skewed to, to stocks.
Mhm.
But as you get older, you might want to have more bonds in your portfolio, right? Or you may want to have more mix of dividend paying stocks in your portfolio.
Mhm.
So we don't want our customers, to kind of go elsewhere when they
Mhm.
have that need, because
Okay.
we already know you best. You have
Mhm.
been working with us, you have been doing business with us for such a long time. So we can give you that beautiful set of options all under the Angel One brand. This is why
Right.
Angel One is so important, right?
Like a
That's the
one-stop
whole idea.
solution for all financial needs.
Absolutely correct. Yes.
Right. Right. Now, Mr. Gangadhar, the broking industry in India is grossly under-penetrated, and there's a lot of growth potential for technology-focused players like Angel Broking. But India is a low-ticket size market, so to serve the customers in this market, the broking companies will have to rely heavily on digitization, and you're already doing that. So,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
are you looking at disrupting the market and creating new digital products for the investors to ensure that this growth opportunity is adequately captured?
Yeah, yeah, that's an excellent question, and you very rightly spotted that trend, right? The trend that you outlined there, right, is driven by digitization. As digitization takes place at scale, there is going to be newer and newer venues to deliver value to your customers.
Mhm.
That's basically it. you know पहले जो काम आपका ऑनलाइन होता था, इन पर्सन होता, दैट यूज्ड टू हैपन ओवर लाइक पेपर, is now happening very quickly over the internet, and it's happening in a few minutes.
Correct. And
So
you've also onboarded like 4.5 lakh customers in August, and this is,
yes,
digital has really helped you expand your customer base in that way.
absolutely. And Sneha, let me tell you, majority of these people have come
Mhm.
online.
Mhm. Yeah, which is one.
So it's completely online, right? Zero touch.
Mhm.
This is where the world is going to.
Right.
And this trend is only going to continue. But see, right now, this trend is only limited currently only to acquisition.
Mhm.
But we have to bring it to consumption also.
Correct.
So this is where we need to innovate. And this is where I think the whole tech industry as a whole has not yet built the they've still not figured it out. All of us are trying to experiment with many different things.
Mhm.
So I'll tell you what are some of the key pillars in our mind, right? As we think about the strategy and how we want to establish ourselves and create our own USP, right?
Right.
So see, first is with digitization, now suddenly you have more and more channels to acquire customers.
Correct.
That very first, the fact that the channels have increased means that we can come up with better models to actually engage with you, whether it is over WhatsApp, whether it is over Telegram, whether it is over phone call, whether it is over email. If you don't want to be bothered, we'll talk to you over email. If you want a more active engagement, we'll send you over WhatsApp. If you want a little bit more secure, we'll probably use something else, right? All of this helps us get to you and
So
get to
from
know
moving
you.
from omni-channel to on your channel, sort of a thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And all these channels collectively, they'll improve the quality of the relationship that we have.
Mhm.
That's really what we are after, is improving the quality of the relationship. Okay. So we are investing heavily in building these channels out and building the right products in those channels. Just take one small example. Let's say you're trying to execute a trade online, and for some reason you want to get some more data about a certain script. Now you're on your screen, you decide, you don't know where to go, so you basically you log into our chatbot, and you basically say, okay, enter the name of your script, and it will ask you, okay, do you want more information? And you will say yes, and we can send you a couple of reports, we can send you a couple of analyst calls and stuff. So now what has happened is your buying experience has become a lot more smarter,
Mhm.
and you have made the right call by having information access on your fingertips. So
Correct.
this is a very fundamental shift.
Mhm.
Now we want to bring this chat based experience to IPOs, initial public offerings, to advisory calls, to customer onboarding needs, to account management, to profile management, to post trade reports. There's many areas in which we are improving this digital product experience. Okay. So this is one big bucket of things which improves the quality of customer engagement, quality of customer retention, and it improves the overall value add that you get from our products. Now let's look at a different channel altogether. When digitization happens, usually what happens is, if you look at a player like Amazon has a very large marketplace. In fact, majority of Amazon's business is done on the marketplace, which is
Mhm.
third party marketplace, and they were smart enough to expose their technology, to open their technology to everybody else.
Correct.
And this is a very fast moving business. So because of that, what has happened is they have created a multiplicative effect on their platform.
Mhm.
Now, what we see is Angel has been one of the first people, the first in our category to actually open up our platform to the whole world. Now, take a minute to think about this, right?
Mhm.
Imagine the full power of Angel Broking's technology stack at your fingertips.
It's
Now
phenomenal.
think about amazing, right? Think about what all you can do with it, right?
Mhm.
So let's say you want to let's say you have come up with a new trading strategy and you want to build a custom experience on top. So you as a developer can build that, package it, and you can even sell it to other people on our platform. So now what has happened is we have created a full marketplace. तो कोई भी आके अपना फीचर हो, अपने strategies हो, अपने designs हो, in the industry, whether it is a sensible, whether it is a product like Sensible or Smart Case or whatever, right? They can build all of that on our platform, and they
Mhm.
can offer it to all our customers.
Okay.
So now you as a customer, suddenly you're not only seeing my products, you are seeing products from all our partners on our one platform.
Mhm.
That is extremely powerful. So we are investing heavily in building that marketplace, and
Okay.
that marketplace is, it's already very innovative. It's already very well known in the industry. Our marketplace is called, Smart Store. We
Mhm.
launched it I think it was about 6 months back. I might be wrong, but about 6 or 7 months back. And right now we have about 2 dozen apps already live on that, and we have
Okay.
many more apps which are
Mhm.
going to be which are going to come. So imagine like, you're going to Apple's, app store and seeing all these different apps, right?
Mhm.
Similarly here, you'll come and you'll see all different apps and you can pick and choose which one you want. And all of these apps are nicely integrated. They're very securely integrated. So you have the peace of mind knowing Angel's brand is there,
Correct.
it's properly screened. Right?
Mhm.
So this is our second digital strategy, is to expand our reach through, through opening up a marketplace.
Mhm.
And this is a big part of our business, and I expect this to grow dramatically over the coming years.
Right.
And just to give you an idea, we already have more than 50, 60,000 users using this. So it's a very non-significant number.
Mhm.
And in addition to all this, we also are introducing a lot of training based programs,
Okay.
because the key digital in the digital world, along with the consumer experience, what changes is the content. you
Mhm.
know so we can give you much more tailored content. We
Okay.
can help you with strategies. For example, if you want to learn how to grow your wealth, by we have a product for that. We have a digital product that you can interact with, and we will give you a whole suite of tools at your disposal, so that you can get you can pace your journey. You can pace your educational experience, you can pace your understanding of the market, and get better and better at at managing your portfolio.
Mhm.
And this is a product we call Smart Money, and it's very popular with our customers. We also have introduced a lot of social media based tools. We are working on social media based tools. जैसे social media tools में you can connect with your fellow traders, you
Mhm.
can compare strategies, you can exchange ideas. So these are things that ultimately create more value for the end user.
Yes, correct,
So
correct.
this is how we
And
are
that'll be
looking at
very useful because a lot of your customers are in the 30 to 35 year
it.
age bracket, and they would really benefit a lot from the social media, like you said, this platform where they can, take suggestions from other traders.
Exactly. So social media, the social media campaign and the social media step, framework that we are building is an important part of our long-term strategy.
Mhm. Okay. Brilliant. So, Mr. Gangadhar, you've put it very beautifully. This whole idea of creating an ecosystem of digital services that are built on top of your platform. So there's that trust that people will have, and then how you're trying to bring in interesting offerings to tap into the different segments, the younger investor segment. That's another interesting point that you raised. Now that Angel Broking is aiming to be a digital first platform catering to all the financial needs of the customers, how do you plan to use your background in technology to make products more accessible in the mass market? And how are you looking at creation of a multifunctional app to serve the needs of the Gen Z and the millennials and the people who want to take an exposure to the financial market? You've answered a part of this, but if you could delve a little deeper into this and tell me.
Yeah. So, I think a big part of making products accessible to the market comes with simplification of the product. you know so if you look at the main reason why Uber and Amazon and Google, they are so popular, is everybody in any part of the world can use it.
Correct.
You don't require a PhD to use an Uber app.
Mhm.
You don't get scared when you look at an Uber app. It is very
Right.
easy to use, right?
Right.
it,
Even senior citizens are using it so in a big way.
Absolutely, right?
Right.
Now if you compare that experience with any trading app,
Mhm.
it's very different. Most of the trading
Correct.
apps are very intimidating, so
Right.
they're, because our business is so it's obviously we
Complex.
share a lot more data and it's very
Mm.
intensive. Naturally the app tends to reflect that.
Mm.
But if we want to make the product accessible to the masses,
Mm.
then we have to simplify it.
Correct.
We have to dejargonize it. We have to explain concepts in a very easy way. We
Mm.
have to do two or three things, but do them really well, rather than doing 50 things, which hardly 0.1% of the customers are going to use. So one of our key approach is eliminating paperwork and introducing full integration. So let me talk a little bit about that. our business, even today, there is still a lot of paperwork that goes on. Even with large brokers who are claiming to be fully digital,
Mm.
the reality is that they're not digital. There is still a ton of paperwork when it comes to understanding reports, when it comes to delivery, when it comes to signing with KYC and whatnot, or even when it comes to simple things like document uploads. There is a lot of this back and forth craft that is being created. And by
Mm.
paperwork, I don't mean necessarily you taking a pen and filling out the paper. By paperwork, I mean the hassle that you have to go through to do anything online, whether it is
Correct.
opening an account, doing a trade or not. So we are investing very heavily in eliminating this paperwork altogether and
Mhm.
introducing, getting to what we call a two-click model.
Okay.
A two-click model is basically within a few clicks, you should be able to get to what you want to accomplish. So
Mm.
all of these journeys have to be coded into the app,
Okay.
and the app has to become smart. And accordingly, based on where you are at, it needs to probe you for the right questions and fill the rest of your journey.
Mhm.
This is something that happens very beautifully in Uber's app, right? If you
Mm.
start typing the address,
Mm.
if you have been to a two location, if you have been to a few locations, it starts giving you the same address on the top bar.
Yes, so to
You
suggest.
know what I
Correct.
mean? So it's very
Right.
simple things.
Mm.
If you are bringing a product to the mass market,
Mm.
these things become paramount.
Correct.
It's not the big bang things that make the difference. It's
Mm.
small
It's
things
the
that
customer delight factor and the ease of use.
absolutely. It's
Mm.
this fact, it's this delight is
Mm.
what is going to click at
Mm. Mm.
because when you are shipping to 100 million customers, always there will be something which will be either broken or not working or something of that sort.
Mhm. Right.
So we have to aim to simplify it. Okay,
Mhm.
that's one. Now let's take a second aspect of how we are bringing our products to the masses. See, when you say bringing product to the masses, majority of the India is still in tier 2, tier 3 and tier 4 cities.
Correct.
That is where we have some of the strongest penetrations.
Mm.
We have built a phenomenal brand, and we are easily number one by a long shot in many, 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 many zip codes across the country.
Mhm.
We are currently in 97.6% of all zip codes in the country. We want to get it to 100. You know,
Okay. Mm.
now the thing is, it's not enough to run marketing campaigns in tier 2, tier 3 cities.
Mm.
You have to create regional campaigns
Mm.
and build localization.
Mm.
You have to build those localization primitives in a way that the app can be consumed in the local native language.
Correct. Correct. So reducing the entry barrier for people
Exactly.
from across different geographies and demographies.
Correct. Correct.
Mm.
So your experience, whether you are using the app in Kannada or Hindi or English, should be exactly the same.
Mm.
We are heavily investing in localizing and making sure that those journeys and our content is tailor made for that.
Mm.
you know and ultimately, when we bring the product to this large mass, at scale, it becomes very important to have a platform which our influencers can use. See,
Right.
Angel has a network of more than 15,000 sub brokers.
Mm.
These sub brokers are all over the country. We have a network of tens of thousands of digital influencers who are doing business with us, right? So what we are doing is we are educating these DRAs. We are giving them the tools so that they can connect with your audiences much better.
Mhm.
So we are starting to democratize the product by doing things ourselves, but
Mm.
also by leveraging the partner channels so that we can get the maximum multiplicative effect. And
Right.
ultimately, there is a lot of AI and machine learning that gets in this so that we can tailor make the journeys. For
Mhm.
example, समझो किसी का आधार कार्ड हिंदी में है या रीजनल लैंग्वेज में है, उसको रीड करके वहां से इंटरप्रेट करना, दैट्स वन टाइप, राइट?
Mhm.
इफ द
Mhm.
डॉक्यूमेंट्स आर रिटन इन द लोकल लैंग्वेज, auto converting that,
Mm.
automatically having sophisticated data science models to correct those errors. Those
Right.
things then become very important at
Mhm.
bringing the product to the masses.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
this is what these are the few sets of things that we are working on to make
Mhm.
the product widely accessible.
Right. So basically, you're trying to ensure that from wherever the onboarding is happening, from whichever part of the country, it's there's an ease of use for the customer. The products are also adaptable. They can be tweaked to the customer's unique needs. And you also spoke about customer, different customers coming from different areas. So also marrying the product with a customer persona, right? And journey optimization as well, right?
Exactly. Journey optimization and marrying the products with the personas. And I
Mhm.
think that you rightly said that that is one of the critical, critical factors
Mhm.
in driving mass adoption. And
Correct.
besides that, also when you are building products for the masses are only going to use a few set of features
Mhm.
very well.
Right.
So those core journeys have to work flawlessly.
Mhm. Correct. Now that angel broking is moving towards becoming a platform company, how are you leveraging emerging technologies like AI, ML, and automation? You use it in a very big way with Smart Arc, with Arc Prime, and
Yeah.
Smart Buzz and other initiatives that you have. But how are you looking at taking this forward, taking the next leap with these technologies?
So first of all, as you rightly said, right? I mean, if you have used our ARC products, whether it is ARC Prime or ARC
Mm.
Intraday,
Mm.
almost all of these products have a sophisticated amount of data science that has gone.
Correct.
And our a big family of our support use cases and products that we offer, which are driven by ML and AI, are in this category, are in the category of investment-based products.
Mhm. Mhm.
Now, these products ultimately, because we have, one of the main advantages we have is we have more than 25 years of operational data with us.
Correct.
And because we have 25 years of operational data, we are able to see and correlate trends and meta factors based
Mhm.
on what we have seen our customers do. So we have learned a lot and we can apply what we have learned to the product itself, you know. So we have invested heavily in, if you look at the AI/ML models that we use, right? There's a lot of
Mhm.
probabilistic classification models which we use for activation, for activating the customer for the first time and getting
Correct.
them to trade in a way that is more thoughtful. You know,
Mhm.
we use these classification models based on discrete probabilities to launch new features. For example, some features may not be apt in some regional areas. Some features may
Mhm.
be, some content may not be for regional areas. Some might be, some
Correct.
content might be for people of a certain economic profile, whereas
Mhm.
some may not be. So everyone's needs are so different.
For everyone on the economic spectrum, for different people,
Exactly.
different age groups, right?
Exactly. Right. So
Mhm.
this is one, right? Then, if you look at some of the other uses where we have used AI and ML, right? We use unsupervised clustering
Mhm.
and supervised learning quite a lot. We use it for classification, for taxonomy, for risk modeling, and these
Mhm.
are emerging use cases that we are one of the first people. Actually, we are the pioneers in the industry in this space.
Mhm.
So we are one of the first people in the market to introduce and apply these kind of models for newer class of problems, which I just described to you.
Mhm.
Now, in addition, there are other things too of where machine learning can help. For
Mhm.
example, a majority of the issues today happen on the KYC front. When
Correct.
somebody signs up for the KYC, it's a
Mhm.
very basic journey, but it still is fraught with a lot of errors.
Mhm.
So we use the ML models to make the journey a lot more smarter.
Mhm.
And we use image analysis to see what's the score of an image. So in case if somebody takes a photograph of, let's say somebody takes your photo and the light is a little blurred,
Mhm.
then we'll still accept the photo because we know it's you.
Mhm.
We have done a lot of comparative models and contrasts and whatnot, right? These are things that we can do. Or if somebody's handwriting is a bit off, right,
Mhm.
then we know, okay, this is the handwriting is this is the same person, right? So we have scores that we have generated. So this is where we use a lot of AI and ML in the day-to-day operations, right?
Mhm.
An emerging area for use of AI is in threat modeling and risk modeling. See,
Okay.
because as more money comes into the market, see, we are only about, India is currently at 4% penetration as far as
Mhm.
demat accounts are concerned, right?
Correct.
Whereas China and US, they are at 32% and 12% respectively. Right? So obviously, as they have seen that growth, there is as you get more and more people into the system, the threats that you deal with also go up dramatically. The risks go up dramatically. Security becomes a very major issue, right? And right now, nobody is thinking about all this in our industry. But we have started applying AI/ML to these category of problems also, to make sure that when you are trading on our platform, you can trade with the peace of mind, knowing that you are working with the most secure and the most sophisticated broker on the planet, as far as security is concerned. So that's the bucket of things we see in AI/ML.
Are you also using it for creating better dormancy models and prediction models to ensure that the overall customer ROI that the customer is getting is also improved?
Absolutely. And thank you for bringing that up. Absolutely, yes. See, what we have discovered is that if we build better models on retention and dormancy, we can actually do a much better job in educating the customer and improve his ROI or his or her ROI. So we have created very proprietary models that we deploy in our code to improve that engagement journey, and many customers have seen positive affirmations from that. We get a lot of positive affirmations from the market, from our customers actually, as we have deployed and run with these.
Right. Now, Mr. Gangadhar, when it comes to investing, nothing pays off more than educating yourself by doing your necessary research and analysis before making any investment decision, because I'm sure no investors want to make a regrettable investment decision.
Yeah.
So with platforms like Arc Prime and Smart APIs, Smart Buzz, Smart Money that you mentioned, your robo advisory, chatbots, and these third-party integrations, how are you helping the first-time investors to join the stock market bandwagon? What are you doing to make sure that they base their decisions on real facts and analysis rather than a risky or a speculative forecast?
Yeah. And this is an excellent question, and this is actually it's very fundamental to the way we do our business. See, ultimately, what is our goal? Our goal is we are in the business of wealth creation, okay?
Yeah.
And our goal is to give the client the right kind of information so that the person can make the call. We cannot make the decision for the customer, but we can empower you. Data is the biggest power, right? It's the liberating source. So if we can empower you with the right kind of information, then you can apply your own analysis and make the right kind of trade-off as to what's best for you, right? So what we are seeing is majority of our customers, they are under the age of 30.
Right.
Majority of them are first-time customers. In fact, the first-time customers are growing in the market faster than anybody else. So if you fast forward 2 years from now, majority of our customers would be under 1 to 2 years old, because they would have just been new to the market. So it becomes it's our responsibility to ensure we are coaching them correctly. So we have introduced a bouquet of financials of offerings, not just one. We build a full spectrum, right? So if you take ARC, I mean, the whole point of ARC is, what is the customers don't understand how to analyze stocks. Very few of them do. Many of them, they have limited information, and they obviously cannot make that decision by just by spending a little bit of time, or just by collating data from here and there. There is a whole history of data that needs to be looked at. आप अगर अकेला देखोगे तो भी आप एक स्नैपशॉट का डेटा देखोगे ना, आप देखोगे मे बी 2 महीने का डेटा देखोगे, 1 साल का. But when you have the power of computing, you can look at a very large macro level and micro level trends. So this is where we launched Arc Prime, which is a rule-based engine that removes it removes human emotion from investing, and it recommends basically stocks which perform according to a certain set of metrics. This helps the customer become smarter. This coaches the customer on how to evaluate. Similarly, we also used Arc Intraday, because there's a lot of customers who want to trade in options, whether it's Nifty or Bank Nifty, and they're looking at essentially squaring it off within the same, 8 to 10 hour window, right?
Right.
So we offer them offer them the same product, but on a on a shorter time horizon.
Mhm.
We have also introduced new products such as Smart Money, which is a comprehensive guide with very structured lessons to help clients grow their wealth. So what we have done is we have introduced a set of videos, and these videos can be consumed within 2 to 3 minutes each. So you take a 2 minute video, you learn about options. Maybe you take a 2 minute video, you learn about derivatives, right? So we are coaching you, and we probe you constantly to see how well you have understood it and whatnot, right? So in
Right.
many ways, we are running a little university to kind of coach you along the way, right? There's
Mhm.
good coaching programs in there.
Right.
In
Right.
addition, a big part of our educational strategy is tied with our social media campaigns. Now, we run a lot of promotionals, campaigns, seminars, webinars that invite people to learn about how to invest in the market, how to model risk, how to look at your portfolio, how to look at investment time horizons and things like that. And anytime there is anything new or anytime there is relevant information in the market, we are always proactive in getting back to the customer. And all of this is based on the communication strategy that I explained to you earlier, right? Using WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook, and all that, right? So
Correct.
we are using all these tools to educate our clients. And then last but not the least, we are also partnering with our partners. We have our platform where we have tied up with many partners who also, through our influencer channel, through our DRA channel, they also essentially publish information, publish content, which our users can consume and build their understanding about the industry. So we are kind of pursuing a multi-pronged approach here. There is things that we do very well, and there is things where we leverage the right channels and the right campaigns to improve that awareness.
Mhm. Okay. Now, Mr. Gangadhar, on that note, I will take a quick question from one of our attentive viewers from Chennai. He wants to know, and this is a perfect segue into what you just mentioned. He wants to know what are some of the new and interesting products that Angel Broking will be coming up over the next couple of months. So, if you can talk about some of those.
Yeah, yeah. So so see, if you look right, constantly we have been upgrading our product portfolio. You know, just in the last few months itself, we have made significant enhancements to ARC, to Smart APIs, to Smart Buzz. You
Mhm.
will see a lot more action in our core trading features. There will be newer features which will help you, trade, trade more wisely in options. And there will be newer features around uh, helping first-time investors learn a bit more about correlated category of stocks. So we, over the next several quarters, we are going to be introducing a series of small features which will improve your overall trading experience.
Mhm.
And that is one of the biggest changes you're going to see in the product. As with each quarter, the kind of features that you're going to see in the app, whether it is core trading, whether it is futures, whether it is derivatives, whether it is profile management, all of this will be fully integrated as
Mhm.
one seamless experience. And ultimately, that is where you guys, the customers are going to be delighted the most. you know
Right. There's another question coming in from Bhuvneshwar. He wants to know, since you're dealing with the wealth of your customers, trust is a very important factor. And how are you ensuring that security is always maintained and the data is secure? You spoke about having using AI models for threat intelligence and getting that baked into the solutions. But if you could elaborate a bit more for the benefit of our viewer.
yeah, yeah. So that is a very, it's a very good question. And as you rightly said, as we scale our business, following best practices on security compliance is one of our most important priorities. And to that end, we have implemented best in class, security schemes, security primitives, which we have integrated in our product itself. So there is security, the threat analysis, and the security primitives have been baked into every single operating aspect of our business. For example, take application security, take vulnerability management, take data loss prevention, right? Security architecture. What we have done is in each of these domains, we have identified and we continue to strengthen our defense in depth. We have a 24/7 incident response team that's always on standby. We have teams that constantly monitor cyber threat. We have teams that work with the government to, and obviously monitor policies and risks and so on, right? So all of this together, the whole suite of products becomes a lot more stronger. And last but not the least, there is also a regulator mandated cybersecurity and cyber resiliency policy, which we are working on as we speak to even improve our overall security and compliance now.
Okay.
Across our products.
Mr. Kanwar, in these last couple of minutes that we have with you, I'd like to understand that since your company's overall outlook is changing and you're looking at changing from a digital broking company to a technology-backed fintech of sorts, as a techie CEO, how are you planning to create the right fintech culture at Angel Broking, and what are some of the areas where you are tweaking the organizational culture? Because for quite some time, Angel Broking has already been a technology-focused company. But what are some of the areas where you think, things need to be changed, or things need to be reconceived in a way that you become a proper fintech-oriented company?
I think it's very important to launch and iterate features fast and fail fast. We are in a very fast-moving space. So I am encouraging the teams to work together and launch and iterate features at a rapid pace so that we can learn about what customers want. Because ultimately, the key to innovation is keeping customers in the center. And the shelf life of products is shrinking rapidly. So if we wait for 10 months, 12 months to launch something, it's too late because the baseline has shifted. So as a CEO, the biggest change I'm driving is the culture of just-in-time delivery, the culture of launching and iterating fast with the market, with our customers, so that we can continue to grow and evolve our products in tandem and in harmony with our customers' evolving needs. So this is one of our first, our biggest pivots, if you will, as a company. And then finally, see, the market, we are also, what we are seeing is that because the markets are changing and our customers' profiles are changing so fast, we have to encourage a culture of experimentation and risk taking. So we, within the company, we have introduced the idea of Angel Lab, where we bring people from different parts of the company and they ideate on a concept. And if the concept is great, we just go launch it, So what
like an idea incubation center sort of a thing.
Exactly. So we have one of the largest idea incubation centers. In fact, the last 10 features, last a dozen or so features that we have launched have come from the idea lab. So we always are working on ideating new concepts. Okay. And ultimately, in a large company like ours, right, transparency and trust is key, both internally and externally. So we are very proud about the fact that we have one of the strongest governances today in the broking industry. We are very well known for that. And I'm also proud of the fact that internally we have very high degree of transparency with our employees, and there's an extremely strong culture of putting the customer first and doing what's right for them, which is big. So this is essentially how we see building the new fintech world. A company that is innovating but on strong foundations of integrity and trust.
Right. Are you also, leveraging the diversity of thought that you have within your teams, with the special focus on, like you mentioned in your first response, on engineering design and product design, and democratizing the whole process of creating innovation?
Absolutely, absolutely. That is one of our core strengths. Because we have teams that have more than 10 to, in many cases, more than 20 years of operating data, right? If we can bring and meld the minds together, right, then you can create magic. You can create magic in different areas, and that is one of the key, that's one of our key pillars, right? Because we have to break down the barriers
Mhm.
between companies, right? Because when companies become large, often communication becomes very siloed.
Correct.
Everybody is only looking at their team, their objective,
Mhm.
and to some degree that is good. But if you want to drive bigger change, you have to break down those barriers and have full transparency at every level of the company.
Correct.
And
Correct.
this is where leveraging, the best ideas, having the framework to ideate becomes very
Mhm. Right, right. That's correct. Well, Mr. Gangadhar, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a really interesting, information-packed and insightful conversation. Thanks for sharing your perspective on a host of topics, ranging from the business model change at Angel Broking, the use of digital technologies that you discussed, new ways of reaching out to young investors, and the underpenetrated geographies and demographies. And you also gave us a sneak peek into the future roadmap of your company. Thank you so much for sharing all of this with us. I'm really inspired, and it's been such an interesting and scintillating conversation that we had today. Thank you.
Thank you, Sneha. You have a nice day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
A big thank you to our audience for listening in and sharing your questions with Mr. Gangadhar. I hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. I'll be back next week with another interesting episode of ETCIO Leaders Live. Follow us on social media to find out who's our guest for the next week. Until then, this is your host, Sneha Jha, signing off. Thank you.